What is going on, my fellow Raiders, Doomers, Crusaders, Scullies, and Destinies, Fivers, whatever we're calling them? Welcome to the video. Today, we're going to be going over, well, maybe not the most exciting piece of indie gear, but certainly a topic worth covering. Today, we're talking about Indiana Jones shoes, specifically Alden 405s, and are Alden boots worth it? So before I answer that question of are they worth it, to give you a brief history, originally when they were in pre-production for Raiders of the Lost Ark, the costume designers had originally picked out Red Wings boots as the shoe of choice for Indiana Jones, but Harrison Ford, pun intended, put his foot down as Alden's were his like everyday wear shoe, and wanted to use them for Indiana Jones, and long story short, those became the shoes we know and love. And for a more in-depth history lesson on that, definitely check out indiegear.net, as it has the story of how Alden's came to be Indiana Jones's shoe, as well as how the late great Lee Kepler found Alden's and, did us as the indie gear community a service by tracking them down. So yeah, again, check out indiegear.net for a more in-depth history of these. But now to answer the question, are Alden shoes worth it? And I know it's early in the video, but to give the most cop-out answer to that question possible, are they worth it? It depends. It depends on the individual and your personal preferences. And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to talk about why they might not be worth it and why maybe they are. So let's start with why they might not be worth it for you. Aldens are very expensive. In a lot of cases, they're the most expensive part, or one of the most expensive parts of an entire Indiana Jones cosplay. So if you're a casual indie cosplayer, maybe you only suit up for like your local Comic-Con conventions, Halloween, and maybe one or two other times a year, they're probably not worth it. Again, these are pretty expensive. These are like an investment. So if you're just gonna wear them a couple times a year, maybe it's not worth shelling out all that dough on just a single piece of gear, or just the shoes. And if you're just starting out as an indie cosplayer, same thing. I always tell people starting off, look at your indie costume top to bottom. If you're just starting out and you're trying to figure out where to start, if you like, I'm wearing my Temple of Doom gear. I love Temple of Doom. So start with the hat. A hat will make or break an indie cosplay. Then work your way down to a jacket, shirt, and so on. And usually, like in my case, shoes were the last detail I really paid attention to. And for years, my everyday wear Ugg Chaka boots doubled as my daily wear shoes and my indie boots. And they were great. But when I finally wore them out, I was looking at different options. And around that time, Wested had come out with their adventure boot, which are a phenomenal option. They're a really great price point for what they are, and they're pretty darn accurate. The color on the Wested Adventure boot is really great. They patina nicely over time. So if you're a casual cosplayer, you're just getting into the hobby, the Wested Adventure boot is an outstanding option. And even if you are, a millionaire with cash to burn and you want the best looking boots to wear at that Halloween party or at a convention, the Wested Adventure boot might still be the best option based on the color. They're not 100% accurate, but they're pretty darn close. And we'll get into color a little bit more when we talk about the Alden 403s and 405s. But in those cases, an Alden might not be worth it. It might not be the best choice. But when are they the best choice? When are they worth it? Well, after I had my Wested Adventure boots, I had them for maybe 2.5 years, and I would love to pull them out and show them, but I actually just recently rehomed them. So I don't have them as a visual aid, but if you want to see what they look like, they are a Google search away. But I had those boots for 2 years and change, and I abused those things. I wore them every day as my everyday wear shoes at work and also in cosplay. And I'm one of those guys, I wear this quite a bit. I go to several conventions a year. I do volunteer work as Indiana Jones. I do a lot. I put them through their paces, and they held up amazingly. But after two and a half years, they did start showing some wear and tear. But again, I used and abused those things, so that's not a knock on the Wested boots. They're great quality. I just really put them through their paces. So it came time for me to get a new pair of shoes, and I was going back and forth. Do I just get another pair of Westeds, you know, and maybe in another 2 years have to get another pair, or do I shell out the big bucks and go for a pair of Aldens? And in this situation, I did, for two reasons. One, again, they are my everyday shoes. I wear them every day at work, and also I suit up in my cosplay quite a bit. So there was value added there. And I didn't want to have to keep ordering new shoes every 2 years. So Aldens, from everything I've researched and been told by friends, they're built to last. So I pulled the trigger and I ordered them from a place called Sherman Brothers, or Sherman Bros. And I've had them for over 3 years now, and they've been phenomenal. They were expensive, but you get what you pay for in terms of quality. Now, to go on a little bit of a tangent here, the modern options of Aldens, you have the 405s and the 403s. In this video, I'm not really going to cover the vintage ones that are, you know, the correct color with the lining and everything. We're just talking about the two modern options in case you're looking at buying a brand new pair right now. So the two main options you have are the Alden 405s, like this one here, and the 403s, which are a darker brown color. And if you're looking into getting a pair, you have that decision. The 405s are technically the model number that was used in the Indiana Jones movies. However, when you order them, they will be very orange, almost like a pumpkin color. And they take quite a while to get to even this level of patina and age. The 403s, however, they are a darker brown, and, you know, again, not an entirely accurate color, but they weather very nicely. I think the shape on the 403s, at least on the heel, is a little bit different. Not enough that it would affect the accuracy of a cosplay, but you have that decision. Do you go with the pumpkin color or the dark brown? Because a little bit of elbow grease is required to make either of them accurate for a cosplay. If you go with the dark brown option, it's a little too dark to be considered accurate, but you can weather them. But then that poses the question, do you want to weather the pair of shoes that you just spent $400, $500, $600 on? Or do you go with a pair like this and just, you're in it for the long haul and you wear them every day until they start darkening in color? Neither one's right or wrong in my opinion. It just comes down to personal preference. I wanted to go with the 405s just for the history of that model of the shoe. And when they came, they were very orange. So I've worn them every single day for 3 years. And, you know, I've cleaned them, I've conditioned them with things like Percard and Armor All leather wipes. And, you know, they've picked up some patina along the way. And I definitely don't baby these. Again, I wear them every single day. I'm not avoiding puddles. You know, I wear them in the snow. I've scuffed them on curbs, not intentionally, but I have. I've scuffed them. I'm not precious with these, and they have some pretty deep scratches. I think the other one has a pretty deep gash in it, but they last, and that's kind of why I'm rambling about this. Is they're built to last. They're very good quality, good make of shoe, but in terms of color and for cosplay accuracy, it's taken a while to get to this stage. So again, if you're just looking for a cosplay shoe, the Wested Adventure Boot is a really great option. I'm not sponsored by either one of these. I just trying to give you my raw thoughts on these. But I do love my 405s, and I love kind of the age and character that they're slowly developing. But even though I'm not precious with them, I do take care of them. Again, I clean and condition them. One thing I'm gonna have to do again here pretty soon is replace the heel cap. You wanna keep an eye on these, especially if you wear them a lot, because the heel cap will wear out and you don't wanna damage the meat and potatoes of the actual heel. So keep an eye on that, and you know, when they get low, I run to my local shoe repair place and just get a new heel cap put on. Eventually, I'd love to get commando soles put on the bottom of the shoe. You know, even though that isn't particularly accurate, I think the functionality of that is great. I think it's something, in theory, you know, Indiana Jones would like when he's trekking around the jungle or walking on ice or snow or whatever. But that's, you know, a topic for another time. So to wrap up all of my thoughts here, are Alden 405s worth it? In my case, yes. But for you, that might be a different conversation or a different thought process. Just weigh out the pros and cons here. You know, they are expensive and they take a little bit of work to make them accurate. So something like an adventure, Wested Adventure boot, or the Thursday Diplomats, if you can find those, they might be a better option. But if you want to invest in a shoe that you can wear every single day, in and out of cosplay, and you don't really have to worry about them falling apart or replacing them, they might be the best shoe. So if you are just getting started in indie cosplay, or you've been in it for a minute, didn't mean for that to rhyme, but if you've been in it for a while and you're looking to upgrade, I hope you found this video at least somewhat helpful, because yeah, I'm a big fan of these, but it doesn't mean you have to be. And don't feel pressured by other people in the indie community to get a pair of Aldens just because those are the shoe to have. Find what works for you, what works for your budget, what you see in terms of accuracy, and what, you know, what you like, what you prefer, and just make the best and most informed decision based on all of those factors. So before I sign off, I'll let you see a close-up here. So here is the left shoe in all of its glory. I did replace the laces with just kind of the round athletic laces. Not accurate, but also not really seen. So just makes life a little bit easier. But if you found this video helpful, feel free to hit the like button, drop a comment below. Let me know if I messed up any facts or anything like that, and what kind of videos you'd like to see next. I hope I was able to make a 12-minute video rambling about shoes at least somewhat entertaining. So until next time, fortune and glory, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.